Hello everyone and welcome back to the Rachelle Anne Miller YouTube channel. Today I am back featuring this Happy Meal card with the Swinging Friends digital stamp by Rachelle Anne Miller. This digital stamp is one of the most adorable scenes I think I've ever seen by her. She has this digital stamp with 2 girls and 2 boys as well. If you want to, this one is the mix. And I really fell in love with it. I think it's a great digital stamp. You can use the sentiment if you want to, you don't have to use it, but I love the sentiment and I love the scripts that Rachelle always adds. Now, as you can see here, I am starting with ink blending and I didn't bother adding any masks. Why? Because the distress ink, the distress ink cracked pistachio, as I'm using here today for a bit of a sky around, is really soft and light. So I will be able to cover this color up with my Copics that I'm using while coloring. And so therefore I didn't bother masking anything off. In case you will use really soft colors, then I suggest do mask because, well, soft colors might not be able to cover things up, but the ones that I used worked out really fine. So I just went for it immediately. I also didn't bother to have a perfect blend. I wanted this to be a sky, and a sky can sometimes be a bit, well, multiple shades, a bit blue here, a bit white there. So I just went around it and I just had fun with a tiny bit of ink blending before coloring. Now for any color combination that I'm using today, you can find them in the description box, and more information about supplies and such will be in the blog post that is also linked down below. Now I started with the hair. It's something that I tend to do, not always, but I'm getting better at it. I must admit that I pretty often like the end result, but I personally find coloring hair with the method that I'm using here, I find it really difficult. And so in case I'm courageous, and I always try to be, I start with the hair, because this way, if it doesn't end up great, I can start over without having to redo everything because I already finished all of the other coloring. So therefore, the hair. Now, I don't recall whether I was courageous enough to also do the girl her hair first. But, well, I already did one of the hair styles quite quickly, so I'm really happy about that already. Next up, skin tone. After hair, I find skin tone the hardest. So, well, here I am doing skin tone. It's a really simple color combination. I use it all the time. There are so many skin tones out there and so many great marker combinations, and I know that I should, well, use them a bit more like all of the others as well, but this is just my go-to. I find it not too light, not too dark. I can use my favorite brown combinations that you can also use as a dark skin tone on the hair, and well, it's just an easy way. But it is really lovely each time that I see other people create other skin tones, and I think, Lien, you should do it as well. Why are you always going towards the E13, E11 and so on? But then next time the next time that I'm coloring, I still end up with that combination. So maybe it's lovely if you can share your favorite skin tone combinations down below in the comments, so that you can inspire me as well as all of the other crafters that are watching this video and looking at the comments. So I hope to see some inspiration there by you, and then maybe I can, if I have all of those markers suggested, maybe I can step outside of that comfort zone of this specific skin tone. So for the boy, I ended up adding a green t-shirt. I'm going to do a dark blue short later on that is going to represent a bit of jeans. It always works out great. The girl will get some yellows because yellow is such a happy color, and I love the combination of yellow and green. So I'm doing that, and as always, as you can see here, the tiny details that are added by Rachelle, I'm just reusing colors. I really love doing that. There will be tons of colors I find because I used yellow for girl, green for boy. So for me, it's already a lot because I really like clean and simple and reusing. So whenever I have accessories, I tend to reuse colors. Okay, so I wasn't that courageous when it came to the girl's hair. First did the skin tone, again the same combination as for the boy. E13, E11, E01, E00. Really simple. And as usual, I am using multiple layers to get that blend that I want. Most of the time I'm happy after two, but depending on the paper that you're using, how exactly you are coloring, how much ink you use while coloring, you might need less or more layers than that. Just continue until you're happy, and if you're unsure whether the paper can still handle all of the ink that you're adding, just heat set it in between so that the paper can rest a tiny bit and then start adding again. So here, as I said, I'm going for yellow. I know this is yellow red, my darkest marker, but I find that just adding a bit of yellow red just warms it up. And for me, it's still a yellow combination, but there is like the darkest color. Yes, they are orange. But then I'm going to yellow 17, as you can see here. So it's yellow. For me, it's yellow. I have this tiny discussion all the time with my colleagues when we work a lot of times in Excel, and then I really love using the warm yellow that is like underneath all of the colors that are suggested in the bar with the Bordeaux, and then, well, for me it's warm yellow. My colleagues are speaking French because I work in Brussels and we have the two languages there. And they always say that it's orange. So big discussion. I'm not letting it go. For me, it's warm yellow, and orange is really more towards the reddish colors. There is like one, there is orange. There are orange suggestions in Excel in the big like suggested color schemes on top, not on the bottom. On the bottom, there is warm yellow. Okay, so in this case, it's yellow, it's warm yellow, but I'm sure that if I ask my colleagues, they will say it's orange. And maybe some of you find it as well. But, well, opinions, you know. So here also for the shoes, as you might recall, I'm using the same combination as for the shoes with the boy, girl, they get the same colors. It works great, you know. So that's that. Please tell me that I now did the hair. I'm like, no, I didn't. Okay, so I create a card. Most of the time it's in the weekends, and then multiple cards. I also was a bit late with all of my videos from past cards on my own YouTube channel. And so multiple cards are created before I start editing and then doing the voiceover and such. This video has been prepped so long before I started doing voiceovers, and I just don't recall what I did first or how I did it exactly. And in this case, I was really in denial, or I was really scared about the hair of the girl. But truly, it's better to just do the hard parts first before starting on the fun things or the things that you're really sure about. It's like doing chores at home. I was brought up by my parents, first doing all my chores, and then I could have some time off and do whatever I wanted to do, things like that. I must admit, the man here, he's completely different. He's changing a bit. He's realizing that chores have to be done, and then we can just enjoy the rest of the day if we did it all. But there have been discussions because we were just raised differently, which is totally normal. But I cannot start my day just relaxing or just while creating a card, for example, when I know that there are dishes to do and there are chores to do, when I need to do laundry or things like that. So I kind of find that you need to look at it like that, with the things that you find hardest to do as well. If they are done, then you can really enjoy the things that you're great at and don't worry about all of the other things. It will be just fine, you know. So I postponed, as you can see here, and I'm not proud of it, but I'm happy that it turned out great. Cannot complain about that. So here for the swing that they are sitting on, I wanted to use brown, like the wood, but I didn't want to have the same brown as the hair and the shoes because that would be just a bit too much, I think. So I went for a tiny bit of a softer brown, which worked out great. And whenever you're trying to recreate wood, just add a bit of stripes here and there, go a bit further with dark one so that you get those nerves of the wood. I'm not an expert, but from time to time it works great. And otherwise, just do you, just enjoy it, enjoy the process, and be happy afterwards that you were able to create something beautiful. Okay, so here the coloring, well, it's actually done, I think. Yes. So I'm zooming out and now I'm using this die. This is the first time that I'm using it. It's from Hero Arts. It's the Cloudy Sky Scene die. And I actually don't have anything from Hero Arts. This is my first Hero Art product. And I actually bought it because there was a while ago someone from the design team actually here from Rachelle Anne Miller that used this amazing cloud. And I was like, which cloud did you use? She shared it, of course, because whenever you ask, chances are high that in this amazing community, people share whatever they used. So she told me, and I tried to get my hands on it, and then I got it, and then I was like, well, what am I going to do with it? It's stunning. You can use it upside down as well. You can use the other clouds with it. You can do layers of clouds. It's just stunning. So I used it, and I'm really happy that I did. These two seem so high up. I just love it. So I die cut my colored and ink blended panel with the basic rectangles from my elephants. This gives me those lovely stitching details that I really adore. And then I die cut it again out of white cardstock, the basic rectangles. So I decided to put the clouds on top of my panel how I wanted them to be, and then as you could see, I just made sure to line up my white panel so that I could die cut exactly what I needed out of the white piece of paper. Now, having done that, I needed to, of course, add it. I wanted to use some dimension, but cutting down a foam tape to all those tiny pieces, I was like, that's going to be a ton of work. So I ended up using thin foam squares, and I added tons of them as well, which was also a ton of work, but I didn't need to snip a zillion tiny pieces out of one roll. So I removed all of the backings, took my time, added it on top of the panel, and then my panel was ready to add on top of a card base. So I did that, just using some adhesive roller. I found that the easiest way to add panels on top of my card bases, also nothing is oozing. Yeah, so really easy. I'm adding that, and then I will still embellish my card a tiny bit more. You don't need to. You can also color it, create a background, finish like that. You can add, like me, some clouds. You can not create a background and just have a white panel, really lovely as well. You can stop where I was, or you can add embellishments. And I added some hearts. These are the white hearts from Pretty Pink Posh, and I just scattered them around a tiny bit to just give it a bit more even. And with those white clouds all around, it just goes really well. So I placed everything until I was happy, used some liquid glue to adhere them, and then my card is actually done. So I'm just using my embellishment wand to get everything in place. Really handy tool, by the way. And then that's it. I'm going to show it a bit up close and a few photos. And that will be my video for today. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and of course that you like the inspiration, that you get inspired, and maybe that you want to try out this digital stamp yourself and share with us everything you created. Don't forget there is a Facebook page where we would love to see all of your amazing designs. Also Instagram, don't forget to tag so that we can see you, and I hope that you have a lot of fun with it. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you have an incredible day, and I'll be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!